What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? Welcome to the 4th edition of the Power Rankings for the 2021 season. We're going to talk about Trevor Bauer, the Yankees, Jacob Degrom, and the Mets. Let's get to it. And what is going on, baseball fans? Hello. I'm seeing 32 people to start off the show. What is going on? Bobby Ross Paints. Hello. Aiden Cox. NHOJ Crab. Hello. Dave Collins. What's going on? HMA. What's going on? Skyfam Toby. I think I said that right. Hello. Jeremiah. What's going on? Octagon 8. Hello. How are we doing? I see James Scott is here. Nate Beast is here. Chupapi Muñano, what is going on? Have I missed anyone? Hello. What is going on, everyone? Hope everyone has had a good week. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Welcome to the 4th edition of my Power Rankings for the 2021 season. But before I get to the Power Rankings, I'm going to talk about a few things going on across Major League Baseball. We got a little something on Trevor Bauer. He is not too happy at the moment. We got some good wins going on lately with the Yankees, a couple of walk-off wins. We're going to talk about that a little bit. The Braves bringing back a familiar face for the bullpen. We got Jacob Degrom leaving his start early today. We're going to dive into that a little bit. But before I get started, everyone, if you can, hit that subscribe button for me. We're trying to get to 7K by the All-Star break. It's a bit of a stretch. I don't know if we can do it, but if you guys can hit that subscribe button, man, that would be awesome if we can get to that point. What a great milestone that would be if we can get there by mid-season. Hit that like button for me. Also, hit that bell notification for me as well. That way you know every single time I'm going live or if I've posted a video, which I just posted a video a couple hours ago on why I think, and I'm not trying to be biased here. You guys know me. I am pretty unbiased when it comes to my Red Sox, but I posted a video just a little bit earlier on 5 reasons why I think the Red Sox could be for real this year. So go check out that video. It's a 5-minute video if you haven't already. So yeah, if you got some time, check it out. Go follow me on Twitter as well if you'd like to talk some baseball throughout the day. So alrighty, everyone, let's just get right to the news. So the first story, I'm going to get through these pretty quick because I want to get to the power rankings. So not too long on each of these stories. But my first story of the night, Trevor Bauer, not too happy right now. I mean, who in LA right now, if you're on the Dodgers or if you're a Dodgers fan, I mean, how could you be happy with this team right now? They are not playing well. This is a great team. This could be in my opinion, one of the best teams ever assembled, and they are just having a very tough time. But Trevor Bauer talked today after losing their 5th consecutive series. This Dodgers team just can't really seem to get it going. But let's get to the story here real quick. Trevor Bauer. So this is actually going to be through The Athletic. So here we go. Let me actually go to the box score really quick for the Dodgers before I get to that story. But a close game today with the Angels. The Angels getting a much-needed win, in my opinion. This Angels team, man, it's like, in my opinion, one of the best lineups in the game, and this team just can't seem to get it going. But a close game for the Dodgers today, a 2-1 loss. Bauer did his thing today, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. He struck out 9. I mean, a very solid start for Bauer. I mean, unfortunately, this Angels bullpen really just came through for them today. Quintana only went 4 innings, but the bullpen really stepped up for this Angels team. But Trevor Bauer, as we all know, a lightning rod in Major League Baseball. He had something to say. He is none too happy about the Dodgers right now. And you know what? Good for him for coming out. I mean, signed a big contract with this team. And you know what? Hey, I feel like he should have some kind of a voice with this team. He's one of the highest paid players on the team. I think that's good for him for speaking out. So this was the quote here. This was after the game, said the team is not playing up to their capability. He says, "I'm pissed. Personally, I freaking hate losing. I want to win. That's why I came here." Bauer said after he allowed just 2 runs on 4 hits, struck out 9. We are not playing up to our capability right now, so I'm mad. I'm not going to speak on behalf of anybody else. So he also added this as well. It's early, and you can say it's early, and you can say there's no need to panic, and you can say all these things, and they're all true. But at the end of the day, we're not just going to roll the bats and balls out there and win baseball games. So, hey, good for him for saying that. And he also added this as well. We're not just going to sleepwalk our way to winning another division title and going to the World Series again. That's not how it works. You've got to go out there and beat someone every day, and we haven't been good at it. We need to be better. So it'll be interesting to see where my Dodgers land on the power rankings, but Trevor Bauer, none too happy at the moment. Our next story, Mets get the win today, but Degrom leaving his start a little early today. Sorry, almost just choked. Jacob Degrom leaving his start early today. Let's go take a look at what's going on there. So he exited, I believe, with some lat tightness. Let's go to the story here. So the Mets get the sweep. Hey, the Mets, it looks like they're starting to come around a little bit, even after the whole raccoon rat. What do you even want to call that? Raccoon rat gate? Is that what people are calling it these days? I don't know. I don't know what the heck happened the other night. I personally think it was a fight. I'm not really sure what was going on with those two. Whatever. With Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil. That was weird the other night. But as for the Mets and Jacob Degrom, so let me go to the box score really quick here. So against the Diamondbacks, a much-needed sweep, in my opinion. This Mets team, they've kind of just been floundering a little bit. But for Degrom, he only went 5 innings. He had given up a run at that point, walked a few guys, struck out 6. But as of right now, he's having tightness in his right side. And so the episode occurred 6 days after Degrom skipped a start due to inflammation in his right lat. So, yeah, the lat was last time. So, yeah, it seems like there's just something going on with the right side of his body right now. He's just not feeling all that great. But this is more of a precaution. Hopefully, I mean, for the Mets' sake, they need this guy. He's the best pitcher on the planet, in my opinion. I think he's the best pitcher in Major League Baseball right now. They're going to need him. So I would imagine maybe they skip a start with him, kind of just to get everything right. But we'll have to wait and see. But, hey, good for the Mets. Getting a sweep today against the Diamondbacks. This Mets team seems like they're starting to come around a little bit. We'll get to the power rankings here in a second, see where they land on my power rankings. Let me go to the next story really quick. The Yankees getting a walk-off win for the second day in a row thanks to a Giancarlo Stanton walk-off base knock. So let's go to that real quick. So the second straight walk-off here. Here we go. It's big time. It's big time, says the Yankees. So, hey, yesterday they had to deal with Max Scherzer all day yesterday, and they came away with the win. And today, a 3-2 walk-off win. Giancarlo Stanton had the game-winning hits. So let me actually go to the box score real quick for that. Where is the box score? Here we go. Alrighty, so taking a look. I mean, this is how this game kind of came together today. Aaron Hicks got the scoring started for the Yankees. Gleyber Torres had a home run, his first home run of the season. Seems like maybe Gleyber Torres is starting to come around a little bit lately. He's getting some hits. So Gleyber Torres, they're really going to need him to start stepping it up a little bit with that bat. And it seems like he's starting to come around a little. So Kyle Schwarber had himself his third home run that tied the game in the 7th. But then Giancarlo Stanton had the ground ball, or had the base hit there, scored Tyler Wade, and that was the win there. And, hey, this Yankees team, kind of like the Mets, they're starting to come on lately. They're winning a lot of games lately. But let's go to that game from yesterday as well. So, I mean, yesterday they had to deal with Max Scherzer. I mean, what a performance yesterday from Max Scherzer. And, it's very interesting with Max Scherzer, pitching in Yankee Stadium. I don't know. Could this maybe be a preview of things to come? Could we maybe at some point see Max Scherzer in a Yankees uniform? Hey, we'll have to see. If he can pitch like this, in a Yankee uniform at Yankee Stadium. I think Yankee fans will be very happy about that. My best friend, who's a big-time Yankee fan, he said, go get Max Scherzer. Go get that guy. We're trying to win a World Series this year. And, hey, look at the Dodgers right now. Look at the Dodgers. I know it's very early, but, hey, the Dodgers, they're showing some cracks in the armor a little bit. So, hey, you can beat that Dodgers team. I mean, any team can be beat, but if you come into a possible World Series matchup, if let's say you ended up going against the Dodgers in a World Series, hey, if you got a Max Scherzer right there, along with a Garrett Cole, I mean, you're going to be very tough to beat. And what a performance yesterday for Scherzer. 14 strikeouts in Yankee Stadium. And then the Yankees still able to come away with a win. So that's a big-time win for the Yankees yesterday. And that one, that was Gleyber Torres getting the walk-off hit there. Hey, this Yankees team, they're starting to play really well lately. Good for them. So, luckily, my Red Sox are playing just as good. They're playing just as good, staying a little ahead of the Yankees in the standings. Let me go to my last story real quick. So, a familiar face going back to the Braves, Shane Greene. Hey, this guy was a big performer for them last year. So, let's go to that story really quick. Shane Greene, he wasn't getting the contract that he was looking for this past offseason. A little time has gone by. Going to be going back to the Braves. I think this is a good fit with the Braves. Losing Mark Melancon to the Padres this past offseason, I really think they needed another arm in that bullpen, and Shane Greene fits the bill, in my opinion. Let's go to the story on MLB trade rumors. Braves to re-sign Shane Greene. The Braves are in agreement on a contract with free agent reliever Shane Greene, according to John Heyman. It's going to be a one-year deal for a $1.5 million. If we go take a look at Shane Greene from last year, he had a very good season last year. Taking a look, he had a 2.60 ERA over 27 innings. The FIP was a little higher than the ERA. The advanced numbers weren't better. They weren't bad, but they weren't great either for Shane Greene, and that was kind of the holdup with him. He was looking for more money, and the Braves said, I don't know, some of these advanced numbers, they're not looking all that great, Mr. Shane Greene, and hey. But overall, in the end, he was very solid last year for the most part. Let me actually go take a look. How did he do in the postseason last year? I believe he was good in the postseason. Taking a look. Yeah, I mean, he was very solid. He had 6 appearances over the entire postseason. He didn't pitch in the World Series. What was the reason? Was he hurt in the World Series? Can someone let me know in the chat? Why was he not in the World? Oh, duh, because he's on the freaking Braves. I am an idiot. I am so sorry, everyone. I'm thinking, why is he not pitching in the World Series? Of course, because the Braves couldn't lock it down, and hey, they had a 3-1 lead, couldn't make it to the World Series. So that's why. My potato brain going full effect right there. So, Shane Greene, though, very good in the postseason last year for the Braves. This is going to be, in my personal opinion, a very good addition. Let me actually go to the Braves bullpen right now. As of right now, the Braves, they're ranked 17th in relief pitching. Let me make sure these are relievers. So let me go to the bullpen right now. This is going to be a good addition for them. And I believe actually the bullpen is performing well lately. Yes, in the past week, the Braves or do we have the right time frame here? Yes, so wait, is that right? Why is it saying 21 games? Maybe 21 games combined, I guess. Whatever. But the Braves, over the past week, had the best bullpen. So now they're good. I mean, it seems like the bullpen may be getting back on track. Overall, they rank 17th on the year. But right now in this bullpen, A.J. Minter's been pitching well. Will Smith has been pitching well. Tomlin, for the most part, has been fine. Matzek has been pretty good. But then you kind of just have these other guys, these ERAs are not really all that great, if you ask me. I know ERA isn't really the best way to kind of look at a relief picture. I mean, even looking at a guy like a Sean Newcomb, and the guy's striking out a ton of guys out of that bullpen, but it just feels like they could use another arm out of this bullpen. If I actually rank the innings real quick, you got guys like, Luke Jackson's pitching well. The ERA is a lot better than the FIP. Jacob Webb, not really very good there with those kind of numbers. They need another arm in this bullpen, in my opinion. And Shane Greene, to me, this is just a perfect fit. Hey, he's familiar with the team. Perfect fit, in my personal opinion. So, let's get to the main the main part of the stream tonight, the main part of the show tonight, and which I believe most of you are here for, and that is the weekly power rankings. You know, I'll tell you, I've been having a lot of fun with these power rankings. I get hyped up for Sunday nights now. These Sunday night power rankings. Hey, I look forward to it now every single Sunday. It's to me, I've been having a lot of fun doing them. And the way I do my power rankings is I use Tier Maker. I don't go the normal kind of like 1 through 30. To me, I go with the letter grades, you know, A+, A, B+, B, C+, and so on. So let's take a look real quick, actually, at last week's power rankings. I made sure to save them so we can kind of look back on how I ranked all the teams last week. So let me click out of all these extra tabs. Here we go. Alrighty. So taking a look. And awesome. We got 57 people in the chat right now. A good place to start. So last week I had no A+ teams. I had the White Sox and the Dodgers as A's. For B+, we had Cardinals, Red Sox, Giants, Brewers, Royals. B, we had Yankees, Astros, Blue Jays, Padres, A's. C+, I had the Reds, Rays, Nationals, Diamondbacks, Mariners. C, we had Rangers, Orioles, Mets, Phillies, Angels, and the Indians. As my D's, we had the Twins, the Marlins, the Cubs, the Braves, and the Pirates. I don't know why these guys aren't here, but in the F's, I had the Rockies and the Tigers as my F's. So this is last week's power rankings. These are not this week, so just showing you guys what I did last week. There are definitely going to be some changes here moving on to the 4th edition of this year's power rankings. So I will keep this up here so that way I can kind of go back and forth. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to go to the overall Major League Baseball standings. Look at my Red Sox sitting right there at the top of the standings. That's what I like to see. Here we go. So we're going to start right here at the bottom. I'm not going to waste any time here. You know, there's not really much to say. I'm just going to put Rockies and I'm going to put Tigers in the... Oh, wait, no. Darn it. I got to... Hold on 1 second. Oh, I knew I forgot to do something here. A+... Here we go. Let me fix these up real quick. And then we had the A. Let's make that red. Let's add a row below. Let's do that as the B+. Okay, we got the B. So let me actually make that orange. Let's make that orange. No, don't want to do that. Orange. Here we go. Let's add a C+ in here. C+. We have the D already. And let me add the F. Alrighty. So let me make F. Let's go with a gray for that one. D. I'll make D a little purple this week. Let's do that. But yeah, Rockies I have as an F. All right, I think we're all good now. We're all good here? All right, cool. So Rockies I have as an F. Let's go Tigers as an F as well. I mean, these two teams, I don't know. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, there's not really much else to say. These two teams, they're floundering. 3-7 in the last 10 for the Rockies. I mean, they're just not good teams. They're not good teams. So they are not built for this season. Let's just move on from that. The Twins. I cannot believe I am seeing the Minnesota Twins right now at this spot. They're 5-5 in their last 10. I mean, they need to go on some kind of a run. They're going to have to do something here, I think, this next month. That's bad. This is a bad team right now. They've playing 500 ball in their last 10, but 12-20. I mean, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. The one saving grace here, if you were to just look here, is the -2 run differential. That's not the worst. I mean, if you look at the Tigers, -68. That's so bad. So the Twins, I don't think the Twins are a bad team. So the way I'm also going to do this, everyone, the way I'm ranking my power rankings is I look at Fangraphs, I look at the overall rankings for the offense, the starting pitching, and the bullpen, and then I also look at this past week's numbers for the offense, starting pitching, and the bullpen as well. So If we take a look at the Twins right now in offense, the Twins have a good offense. They're 5th in offense right now. If we take a look at the starting pitching, though, the Twins, as of right now, they rank 22nd in starting pitching. And in the bullpen, this Twins bullpen is bad. They're 27th in the bullpen. Let's take a look at how they've been doing this past week. The offense continues to hit well. I mean, they're 5th in offense. I feel like, is this... Hold on a second. It's saying 90... Okay, maybe that's... No, this is right. This is right. Okay, this is right. Every time I look at the games, I always think that's the number of games the team has played, but I think that's just combined games from their players. So, but yeah, for the Twins, 5th in the offense this past week. If we take a look at the starting pitching for the Twins, where are you, Minnesota Twins? I'm going blank. I cannot see you. You're 10th in starting pitching this past week. I mean, that's pretty good. But the bullpen, though, this Twins bullpen is just bad. It's a bad bullpen. This bullpen is terrible. They're going to have to make some kind of a move in this bullpen. If I take a look at the numbers from this past week, so this is actually for the whole season. I mean, Taylor Rogers is doing good. Caleb Theobar, I can't remember if I'm pronouncing that right, but he's pitching fine. But the one guy, Alex Colomé, he has just not had a good season overall. Randy Dobnak's got a very high ERA there. Tyler Duffy, a little high with that ERA. I mean, they're not getting good production out of this bullpen. It's not good. I don't know. If you take a look at the record among their bullpen, as of right now, their bullpen only has 1 win on the season. I know the wins and the losses aren't really great to look at overall, but just to give you a quick idea, this bullpen right now, 1, 2, 4, 7, 10. There's 11 losses in this bullpen. That's not good. The starting pitching, they're definitely doing fine. The starting pitching is doing enough, in my opinion. Wait, hold on. That's not the starting pitching. So where were they at starting? Yeah, they're 10th in starting pitching this past week. So they're getting the job done when it comes to their starters. This bullpen is very bad, though. I'm not ready to put this team as an F right now. They weren't bad this past week. I'm going to go with a D right now for the Twins. I'm going to stick with a D. I believe I had them as a D last week. I'm going to stick with them as a D. They played 500 in the last 10. I'm going to stick with a D for right now with the Twins. I think this team is a lot better. The offense is good. The starting pitching is doing enough, especially lately, but the bullpen is just garbage. I don't know. I'm not ready to put them as an F. I think they're a lot more talented than the way they're playing. So, moving on here, let's go now. We are at the Pirates. The Pirates, hey, they're 14-19 now. They were looking pretty cool, pretty good there for a little bit. But, hey, 2-8 in the last 10. Let's actually go to the schedule real quick for the Pirates. I want to take a look at how they did this past week. I believe I had them as a D last week. Yes, so I had them as a D. Could they maybe fall to an F? So this past week, they won today against the Cubs, but they lost the series overall. Lost 2 out of 3 to the Padres. They did get a win against the Padres, but I don't know. This Pirates team, I think they're very close to getting to an F. I'll stick with them as a D right now. Yeah, they probably could be an F, but I don't know. Do I want to make them an F? You know what? Am I ready to make the move? Put the Pirates as an F. Well, let's see. Let's take a look at the rankings. Let's look at the rankings. The 28th in offense, 24th in starting pitching. The bullpen has actually been pretty good. I feel like I've said that the last few weeks. They're 7th overall in the bullpen. I don't know. I'll stick with the D. No, do I want to go with an F? They didn't have a good week. I'm going F for the Pirates. I'm going F. They did not have a good week. If you take a look, I mean, they lost 2 out of 3 to the 2 out of 3 to the Cubs, 2 out of 3 to the Padres. They're just floundering at this point. They're 2-8 in their last 10. I'm gonna make the move. I'm gonna maybe I'm jumping the gun just a little. Joshua Kesserwan with a $4.99 super chat with how the Tigers are playing. Do you think they should fire Al Avila? I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're not really going to be a team that's competing this year, I mean, do you really, make the move? I mean, right now it's all about development. I think what they need to do is they need to just have a guy in place that's going to help these guys develop. I mean, maybe down the road, in a few years, maybe they make that move. I don't know. Right now, for the Tigers, you got AJ Hinch. Right now, they just need to be focusing on development, in my opinion. I don't know. I just think right now, is there really a point? I don't know. It depends on what they're trying to do as an organization right now. But that's just where I'm at with the Tigers. I mean, I don't know. Tigers are going to be pretty good in a few years. That's all I'm going to say on that. But moving on. Yeah, so I'm going to make the move. I'm going to put the Pirates down to an F. I'm ready to make that move. I think we all expected this Pirates team was going to be an F eventually. They got off to a good start there, but they're showing their true colors now. Moving on, the next team, the Nationals now. Wow, 4th to last. 5-5 in their last 10. They lost a couple of walk-off games in a row. Taking a look, Nationals are 19th in offense. Scherzer had himself a heck of a game yesterday. So for the starting pitching, overall, the Nationals, though, they're 29th in starting pitching. For the bullpen, 21st in the bullpen. Let's take a look at the stats this past week. The Nationals, 24th in offense this past week. Taking a look at starting pitching, 22nd. They have the 11th ranked bullpen this past week. I don't know, man. This Nationals team, they're just not good. They're just not good. They lost a couple of, they did lose a couple of close games against the Yankees there. I think for the Nationals, last week I had them as a C+ last week. Interesting. But they have not had themselves. Let me look at the schedule overall this past week. We got 121 people in the chat right now. That is awesome to see. Everyone, if anyone's new, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the bell notification. Again, if you can subscribe, that would be awesome. We're trying to get to 7K by the All-Star break. But for the Nationals this past week, again, Scherzer had that heck of a performance yesterday. Man, you got to be thinking, maybe Brian Cashman was watching that performance rather closely. You got to think Brian Cashman probably foaming at the mouth for a Max Scherzer. But, lost the series to the Yankees. They got swept by the Braves. I think I'm going to drop the Nationals here. Man, they were a C+ last week. Man, I got a couple of close games. It's 13-17. They're 4 under 500. Hey, Bennett, I appreciate that, my friend. Welcome to the channel. I appreciate that. Man, Nationals, they're not going to be a C+ for me this week. They're definitely dropping. Are they going to drop to a C or are they going to drop to a D? Again, a couple of close games there. I mean, they had a couple of close games this past week. 3-2 loss to the Braves, and then they lost via the walk-off in 2 of the games to the Yankees there. I mean, overall, only 1 win this past week. I'm going to make the move. I'm going to go with a D for the Nationals. I'm going to drop down to a D. I'm going to make the move. They're dropping 2 spots from last week. They were all the way up to a C+ last week. I'm going to a D. The Nationals, they're dropping for me. So, moving on. Next up, we have the Orioles. Hey, my Red Sox took care of business against the Orioles this weekend. They've lost 3 in a row. Last week, I had the Orioles as a C. I think right now, the Orioles, we all kind of knew this Orioles team. I mean, really, how competitive were they going to be this year? They have, they had that John Means no-hitter this year, so that was pretty good. The Orioles actually did play an okay game today, but it was a close game all the way there to the end. So the Orioles are just such a pesky team. I always hate playing the Orioles. Seeing my Red Sox going up against them, I don't know why, it always makes me nervous. The Orioles are just always such a pesky team to my Red Sox. But let's go take a look at the Orioles. Wow, we're up to 147 people right now. That's awesome to see. If anyone's new, hit that subscribe button. We're doing power rankings right now. So they have 1 more game against the Red Sox tomorrow before going to the Mets. So they lost 3 to the Red Sox. They won a couple against the Mariners. So last week I had the Orioles as a C. Overall, I mean, they had a lot of losing this past week. I'm going to drop the Orioles to a D. So that's just where I'm at with the Orioles. And I don't know. I just think right now, I just don't think they're a C, even a C team right now. They're losing a lot lately. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with them. Taking a look, the Diamondbacks just getting swept by the Mets, 3-7 their last 10. They've lost 6 in a row now. This Diamondbacks team, I feel like could be a good team, and they just can't seem to really get it going ever. So, taking a look at the Diamondbacks, here we go. I mean, they're definitely having some injuries right now. Had some ejections today. Torey Lovello getting ejected today. Taking a look at the schedule from this past week. Again, getting swept by the Mets, which, hey, this Mets team, I think they're finally starting to find their stride. But then they got swept by the Marlins as well. I mean, they didn't win one game this past week. So last week, I had the Diamondbacks as a C+. They looked like they were starting to get it going, but then a really rough week for them. I'm dropping them to a D. We got to go for a D for the Diamondbacks. We got some teams starting to drop. Diamondbacks as a D. Moving on, I have the Miami Marlins up next. They've lost a couple in a row. Let's go take a look at what the Marlins did this past week. The Marlins, fun young team. Taking a look here. What did they do this past week? Marlins. So, lost 2 out of 3 to the Brewers. And then they swept the Diamondbacks. So the Marlins last week, I had the Marlins as a D. So am I going to keep him as a D? I feel like I'm going to keep him as a D. They're not playing. I mean, they had, again, a good series against the Diamondbacks, but then they lost 2 out of 3 to the Brewers. I mean, I feel like they're going to stay idle for me. Real quick, I mean, I'll take a look at the stats. 15th in offense. Sorry, starting pitching is 14th. Bullpen is 14th. So they're very in the middle when it comes to all three. I'll keep the Marlins as a D. I think that's where they're at. I had them there last week, so they'll stay as a D for me. Moving on, we have the Angels. This Angels team, hey, they needed this win today against the Dodgers. I mean, goodness gracious. I want this Angels team to do well. I don't understand. This offense is so good, and they just can't seem to get it going ever. I don't understand. This Angels team, I don't get it. Again, they won 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. It is a struggling Dodgers team, but they did put up some runs. Hey, 20 runs over the first 2 games, and they won a close game today. The bullpen was really good, but they got swept, a 4-game sweep by the Rays. So where did I have the Angels last week? I had the Angels as a C. So it's so weird. A 4-game sweep to the Rays, and then you take 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, which, again, that is a struggling team. But so, again, the Angels last week I had as a C. Let's take a look at the rankings. Angels in offense. They're 8th in offense right now. It's a good offense. 12th in starting pitching. And then the bullpen, 20th in the bullpen. Let's take a look at how they did this past week. Again, not a good overall week. They were 12th in offense this past week. Looking at the starting pitching. Starting pitching was actually really good this past week. They ranked 4th in starting pitching this past week. And then for the bullpen, they ranked awful in the bullpen this past week. So I think I'll stick with a C for the Angels. Offense is good. Starting pitching, they're doing well lately. And it's just that bullpen lately not doing all that great. The winning 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers this past weekend definitely helped them stay at a C for me. So I'll keep them as a C. Up next, we have the Cincinnati Reds, 6-4 in their last 10, 15-16 on the year. Let's take a look at what the Reds did this past week. They got rained out today. You hate to see it on Mother's Day. Also, I hope everyone had a good Mother's Day today. If you got to spend some time with mom at home or spend some time with any kind of family today, hope you had a great day today. Hope everything went good. Hopefully you had some better weather than what these guys had today. So, we had the Wade Miley no-hitter, so that was pretty fun. Taking a look at the schedule. So, Wade Miley, was that Friday night he had the no-hitter? I believe that was Friday night. But taking a look at the past week. So, they basically split the series with the Indians, split the series with the White Sox. So, where did I have the Reds last week? A C+. I feel like I'm going to stay idle with the Reds. I mean, they split both their series this week. So, the Reds offensively, where are they at? The Reds offense, they're 13th in offense, starting pitching. They're 16th in starting pitching. And then the bullpen, 23rd in the bullpen. This past week, what did they do? Cincinnati. Offense, they were dead last in offense this week. Not a lot going on that offense, but the starting pitching was good. I feel like Luis Castillo struggled this past week. I can't fully remember his line. I feel like maybe he went like 5 innings, 4 earned or something like that. 13th in the bullpen. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to stick with I don't know. Do I want to drop to a C maybe? I feel like for the Reds, I don't know. I don't know. They didn't really get anything. I'm gonna drop him down. Actually, I'm gonna drop him down to a C. I feel like they're kind of, or I don't know. Do I want to say with a C plus that Wade Miley no hitter? But it's again, I don't know. I'm gonna go to a C. I'm just gonna go to a C right now for the Reds. They did a little extra this past week, or not this past week, but the week prior to help bump them up to a C plus. So I'm gonna stick them down to a C. Moving on, we have the Kansas City Royals. Holy cow! What the heck happened to Kansas City? This was the most fun team in Major League Baseball at one point, and they are a garbage in the last 10. 1-9. They've lost 8 in a row. What the heck happened to Kansas City? I mean, come on, Kansas City. I was having a blast with this team. I loved seeing what they were doing. They were winning games. I mean, but man, they're just really showing their true colors. The White Sox, it's completely flip-flop. The White Sox have just gone on this incredible roll lately, and the Royals have just completely come back down to earth. So let's take a look. Kansas City this past week. I mean, they lost all their games this past week. So last week, we had Kansas City as a B+. I mean, goodness gracious. 4 losses in a row with the Indians, getting killed by the White Sox. I think this might be the biggest drop this week. I think we could see the biggest drop overall on my power rankings. They were a B+ for me last week. I think with the Royals, I gotta go D. You've lost a lot of games. This might be the biggest drop. Overall, I think this is probably going to be the biggest drop on my power rankings this week. You're playing terrible. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd love to put him as a C, but you've lost 8 in a row. I mean, you're not doing good. You're getting killed. I'm going to go D. I'm going to be a little harsh. When you're losing 8 games in a row, I mean, oh my, that's a free fall right there. That's not good. I'm going to go with a D. Let's see if next week they can kind of get themselves back on track and maybe they can get back into the C's. But, oh boy, I'm sorry. I'm going to go D. I'm going D. It's just been, that's pain. When I'm seeing 8 straight losses, that's just pain. And if you look overall at the run differential this year, -31. So that's not really good. I'm going to take a quick look at the stats with Kansas City. Overall, Kansas City, I mean, it's kind of actually been this way this year. They were just really grinding out some wins, but they were 21st in offense. Starting pitching, overall, they're 13th on the year. Bullpen, they were 24th overall in the year. So Kansas City, they were, even with the not the best numbers overall, they were still edging out, gutting out some wins. And I don't know, they're really starting to show their colors. I'm sorry, I'm going with a D. Again, B+ last week, dropping all the way to a D for me. So maybe a little harsh on my part, but I'm sorry. 8 straight losses. I mean, you can't be doing that. The Braves, again, this is just such an interesting team. Bringing in Shane Greene, that's going to be good for the bullpen. I think that's going to be a good move overall. But taking a look, last week I had the Braves as, where did I have I had the Braves as a D last week. They were not playing good baseball, and they're still kind of just hanging around. I mean, 5-5. They did win today, but taking a look at the Braves, they also had Acuna. He got hurt at one point, I believe yesterday. He left the game early, or he's day-to-day because he got hit by a pitch on his pinky. But he played today, so hey, that's a good sign. But here we go. So yeah, 5-1 win against the Phillies today. Let's take a look at the past week. So they did have the sweep against the Nationals, and they took 2 out of, or they're playing right now, and they are winning right now. Oh, okay. I'm gonna base this off of a win. I'm gonna jump the gun here, and I'll say that they'll win this game tonight. You should win this game, Atlanta. If you don't win this game, I'm gonna be like Trevor Bauer. I'm gonna be mad. You better not. You better not lose this game tonight, Atlanta, because I'm basing your power rankings off of what you're doing right now. You're winning 5-1. You better hang on to this win tonight. So 3 wins. I mean, sweeping the Nationals in a 3-game series. And I'm assuming you're going to take 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. That's a good week. So, so again, I had the Braves as a D. They're definitely moving up. They are definitely moving up. They've had themselves a good week. Let's take a look at the numbers overall. Atlanta. Let's take a look. It's a good offense. They're 11th in the offense this year. Starting pitching. Taking a look at the starting pitching. Not good in the starting pitching this year. 27th. They really need Mike Soroka back. Taking a look at the bullpen. Atlanta 17th in the bullpen. Let's take a look at what they did this past week. They won games this week, so they should have some decent numbers at least. The offense this week, 27th in the offense this week. Man, and they're still winning games. 15th in starting pitching, so that's an improvement on how they've been doing this whole year. And then, but they had the best bullpen overall this week. I'm going to go up a couple of spots. I'm going to go Braves, moving up to a C+. That's a good week. You had yourselves a good week. I swear, Atlanta, if you lose tonight, I'm not going to be a happy person. Atlanta, I'm putting you as a C+, a good week overall. Hopefully you win tonight. So, moving on, Atlanta. Next up, I have the Chicago Cubs. Actually, the Cubbies have been playing pretty decently lately. 7-3 in their last 10. They did lose today. Last week, I had the Cubs as a D. I had the Cubbies as a D last week. So, let's take a look at what the Cubs did this past week. Not a good day today. 6-5 loss. Kyle Hendricks has not been good. What has been going on with Kyle Hendricks right now? So, he makes positive progress in loss. Let me take a look at the box score. I mean, come on. You're losing to a pretty low-tier team here. I mean, 5 innings, 4 runs, 9 hits allowed. Hendricks is having a terrible year. Terrible year for Kyle Hendricks. All right. So, Cubs. Okay, schedule. Still got 187 people in the chat right now. You guys are awesome. Again, if anyone's new, please hit that subscribe button. We're doing the weekly power rankings every single week. I'm going live a couple other times during the week as well. Yeah, so hit that subscribe button if you are looking for more baseball content and news. Okay, so the Cubs, they actually won 3 games against the Dodgers team is really struggling. 1-3 against the Dodgers this past week. They had that one game that got so they moved it. Okay, never mind. So I take that back. So they won the doubleheader on Tuesday after the rain out, and then they won on Wednesday as well. But you did take 2 out of 3 against the Pirates. So the Cubs overall, they're playing pretty well this past week. Playing some good baseball. Let's take a look. This offense for the Cubs has really picked up this year. They are only 16th overall, and that's way better than what this offense has been in the last couple of years. Taking a look at the Cubs starting pitching. Not good at starting pitching on the year overall. And the bullpen right now, 18th in the bullpen. I feel like Craig Kimbrell is having himself a good year. We have officially broken the 200 viewer mark. Everyone, welcome to the weekly power rankings. I appreciate all of you being here tonight. Hope everyone had a good Mother's Day. But Craig Kimbrell, he has really figured something out. Hey, if the Cubbies are not really in it, could you maybe see a trade for Craig Kimbrell, maybe to a team that needs an extra arm in the bullpen down the stretch? You got to think, maybe you can get a couple of prospects for him. I mean, he's got a decent contract, a decent size contract, so maybe. But I don't know, Craig Kimbrell's really doing good. Even Andrew Chafin's having a pretty decent year. So bullpen this year is doing pretty good. This past week, the offense, they scored a few runs there against the Dodgers, but they only ranked 20th in the offense. Have I not been looking at... Oh, shoot. I was looking at offense and defense, whatever. But for the Cubs, I mean, they were 19th in offense this past week. Looking at the Cubs starting pitching, 14th in starting pitching this past week. For the defense, for the bullpen, Bullpen this past week for the Cubs, 18th. So, hey, they won some games this past week. I mean, to me, they were a D last week. I'm going to move them up to a C. I'm going to go C for the Cubs. Hey, when you win 5 out of, how many games was it? 6? Hey, you won 5 out of 6 games this past week. That's a pretty good week if you ask me. I think that deserves a bump up in my power rankings. Moving on. Next up, we have the Texas Rangers. Look at this Texas Rangers team. 500. I don't think a lot of people saw the Rangers doing this good. 7-3 in their last 10. They've won a couple in a row. Let's take a look at what the Rangers did this past week. Here we go. Dane Dunning, 10 strikeouts today. Good for him. I like Dane Dunning, man. I thought that was a good return piece for Lance Lynn in that trade. I think that was a pretty underrated piece that went in. Lance Lynn was obviously the big name in the trade, which is really going to help the White Sox. But I think for the Rangers, I thought that was a really good pickup for them. 3 wins against the Twins, and you took 2 out of 3 against the Mariners. The Rangers, they're doing all right. Take a look at the Rangers right now. Offensively, 14th in offense, 25th in starting pitching, but that Dane Dunning performance today should bump them up a little bit. 16th in the bullpen. Taking a look overall this past week, 4th in the offense this past week, so scoring a lot of runs, making a lot of things happen offensively. Starting pitching, where are you at? This does not include Dane Dunning's performance today, so 23rd in starting pitching, but with Dane Dunning today, good performance, that's going to help. And then overall, they had the 5th best bullpen. So last week I had the Rangers as a C. Man, do I want to bump them up to a C plus? Do we want to bump the Rangers up to a C plus? They scored 10 runs today. Dane Dunning had a good performance today. I'm going to let you guys pick this one. Where do you think the Rangers should be? Do you think the Rangers should be a C, or do you think they should be a C plus? It's going to be one of those two for me. Let me know in the chat what you think. I'm seeing some C's. I'm seeing a C plus. I'm seeing a C. I'm seeing a C. I'm seeing Dane Evans with a B. Seeing a couple of C pluses here. I'm seeing another C. I'm seeing an F. No, they're not an F. I'm seeing an A. Hey, I'm seeing some C's. C, is that a C? Yep, that's a C minus from Elizabeth Sharpton. A lot of F's from Critters and Things. We're seeing John O, Astros fan, with a C. A lot of C's. I'm seeing a couple of C pluses. I'll listen to you guys. I'll stick with the C for this week. They did have a good week. I want to see another good week out of the Rangers. I want to see if they can show me one more good week, I will bump them up to a C plus. Hey, if they have themselves another good week, similar to this past week, maybe we could see the Rangers bump up to a B. Maybe. But I want to see one more good week out of the Rangers. So, moving on. Next up, we have the Mariners, who did not fare well against the Rangers. The Mariners, they've lost a couple in a row. Like I said, to the Rangers. Justice Sheffield. So, he had 4 good innings to start off, and then he just had a bad 5th inning. Gave up 6 runs to the Rangers there. Let's see what the Mariners did. They were looking pretty good. And now lately they're just stumbling. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Orioles, then lost 2 out of 3 to the Rangers. The Mariners last week I had as a C plus. I'm going to drop the Mariners down to a C. A C plus last week. This performance last week, you lost 2 series. You're going to drop down to a C for me. They're definitely trending downward at the moment. Moving on to the Dodgers. Here we go. All righty, here's the juicy one. The Dodgers. Oh, my God. They are really 18-17. The Dodgers are almost a 500 team. That is nuts. I believe they were like 13-2 at one point. Ooh, here we go. This is going to be a fun one. Oh, man. So they lost big time to the Cubs this past week. They are slumping really hard. I am really excited to see what you guys think in the chat. Oh, man. I'm seeing letter grades. We're seeing Fs. We're seeing a C. Oh, man. Oh, this is I'm gonna have a hard time with this one because last week I had the Dodgers as an A. I mean, they are not staying in the A's. I'm letting you know that. They are definitely drop-a-lopping. So the Dodgers this past week, you got killed by the Cubs. Okay, maybe you didn't get killed by the Cubs. You lost a couple of close games to the Cubs, but I believe Kershaw had a bad start. And then you lost 2 out of 3 to the Angels. They're just not playing good. Let's take a look at the numbers. Let's see if the numbers can salvage them. I mean, still right now, they are first overall in offense, overall on the year. So when it comes to offensive runs above, hold on, let me, oh no, that's offense and defense. Sorry. They're second in offense right now. Look at my Red Sox, first in offense. Starting pitching, they are still getting a lot of good starting pitching, even though they are slumping. I mean, they're first in starting pitching overall this year. And then for the bullpen, this bullpen's been struggling. They are 19th in the bullpen this year. Not a good bullpen right now. I mean, let's take a look at this bullpen. What's going on with this Dodgers bullpen right now? The bullpen, I believe, was a top 10 bullpen at one point. Trainen's doing good. Let me filter it by the innings. Blake Trainen's doing good. Kenley Jansen, overall, I mean, decent numbers on the year. That FIP, though, look out for that FIP, a 5.05 FIP for Kenley Jansen. He's got 5 saves, but Jimmy Nelson's doing all right. Victor Gonzalez is doing all right. Scott Alexander. So what's going on with this bullpen right now? So, all right, let's look at the numbers this past week. The Dodgers this past week with the offense, they were 8th in offense this past week. Starting pitching, they were 17th in starting pitching. So the starting pitching this past week did not perform very well. And the Dodgers bullpen, they've been struggling lately. 24th in the bullpen in the last week. Let me actually just look at the numbers for this week. What is going on with this Dodgers bullpen? All right, so Dennis Santana's gotten roughed up this past week. Trainen's been good. Gonzalez has been good. Garrett Clevinger got knocked around a little bit this past week in 3 games. Kenley Jansen didn't give up any runs, but look at that FIP, 9.10. Mitch White and Vesia, they were okay. I guess it looks like Mitch White actually. I mean that FIP was not very good. Yeah, this bullpen is just not performing. Joe Kelly got knocked around a little bit. This bullpen is just not doing well. Man, oh man, where am I going to put the Dodgers? So they were an A last week. Oh, this is tough. Tough. I mean, there's still a ton of talent on this team. I mean, this team is so good. They're just hitting a rough patch. I'm going to... Oh. Man. 2-8 in their last 10. The run differential is still very good. They're just slumping. They're slumping really hard. Just like Kansas City, slumping. But this Dodgers team is way better. I'm going to drop them down to a C+. I'm going to go C+ from an A. I think this Dodgers team, I'm going to go C+. Yeah, they're dropping a couple of spots for me. They have lost their A spot. That's the first time this year they are not in the A's. I'm going to go C+ for this Dodgers team. I still think there's a lot of talent on this team. Maybe I'm being a little kind, but I'm going to go C+. I just think there's still too much talent on this team. That's where I'm going to go C+. I think that I'm not going to go any lower than that. I'm not going to go any lower. I mean, they're definitely struggling at C+ for me. C+. I just think there's too much talent. Moving on. That was a tough one. That was very tough. I could see an argument for a C as well. Toronto. What's going on with Toronto? I mean, Toronto, this team this year, you heard all about this team in the offseason, but I feel like I'm not hearing anything about this team this year. Springer's been hurt. I mean, we had a 3 home run game from Vlad Jr. recently. Last week, I had the Blue Jays as a B. Last week. So let's see what the Blue Jays did this past week. I think the Blue Jays are actually heading back to Buffalo, if I'm correct on that. Hey, Nate Pearson made his debut today. Nate Pearson, he's back. So, No surprise. I mean, Nate Pearson, he was a little shaky last year. I mean, in his rookie season. Hey, it's going to take him a couple of starts. But this past week, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Astros, and then you split the series with the A's. If you're coming off of a loss, so we're really going to have to look at some numbers here. Toronto. Here we go. Toronto right now, 9th overall in the offense this year. Starting pitching, they are 28th in starting pitching. The bullpen, 6th overall in the bullpen. I don't know. I mean, they're coming off of a series loss here. Let me take a look at the past week. Let's see what they did. 20th in offense this past week. Starting pitching this past week was 29th. 17th in the bullpen. All right. So 1, 2, 3. You lost more than you won this past week. I'm going to go down to a C+ for the Blue Jays. I'm going to take a slight dip for them. I mean, you're coming off of a series loss. So, yeah, I'm going to drop them down 1 spot to a C+. Taking a look, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, I feel like, is playing a little better recently. Tampa Bay to me right now is like the just prototypical 500 team. They're just so up and down. So, taking a look, Tampa Bay last week I had as a C+. So, let's take a look at Tampa Bay. I still have yet to make my way out to Tampa to go to a game. Hopefully, we can see a Rays Red Sox game this year at some point. Taking a look, what did they do this past week? Coming off of a win today, beating the A's today. You lost 2 out of 3 to the A's, but you had the 4-game sweep against the Angels. You did have the 4-game sweep. Let's take a look at what the Rays are doing offensively this year. They rank 17th in offense. In the starting pitching, you rank 9th. Tyler Glasnow is a big part of that. Bullpen, you rank 13th in the bullpen. Let's take a look this past week. Tampa Bay, 12th in the offense this past week. Taking a look, 16th in starting pitching this past week. This past week in the bullpen. Where are you at? 15th. I feel like I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay at a C+ for the Rays. They had a big sweep of the Angels there. But then you lost 2 out of 3 to the A's. So I'm going to stay with the Rays. I'm going to stick with a C+ for the Rays right now. I'm just going to keep them where they're at. Next up, we have the Phillies. The Phillies losing, I believe, still right now. What is going on right now? Let's take a look at what's going on in that game. Taking a look. All right, so Atlanta. Thank you, Atlanta. Still hanging on to that 5-1 lead. I appreciate that. Please, Atlanta, do not lose, like I said earlier. But the Phillies losing right now. But taking a look at what the Phillies did this past week. Again, 6-4 in their last 10. Here we go. I feel like I was about to say, Andrew McCutchen hit his 3rd leadoff shot. I feel like Andrew McCutchen hit a leadoff home run the last game they played on ESPN. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I feel like he has done that. And also, why are the Phillies on ESPN so much? And the Braves? Why are all these NL East teams on ESPN so much? Taking a look. So, as of right now, you're on track to lose 2 out of 3 to the Braves. You did sweep the Brewers this past week. So, even with a loss to the Braves, you're still going to have yourself a really good week. 5 wins on the week. And then 2 losses. But taking a look at the Phillies, your offense this year ranks 23rd overall. What is going on? Starting pitching this year has actually been very good. Starting pitching, you have had Zach Wheeler balling out. Aaron Nola's been balling out. Zach Eflin balling out this year. Those 3 guys are just carrying the load for the Phillies. Chase Anderson, not so hot. Vince Velasquez, he's been okay. Matt Moore, I think I actually just saw Matt Moore just pitching. I think I closed out of the tab. But I think Matt Moore is coming out of the bullpen right now. But anyway, Phillies, they're fine. I mean, but this week was very good. So where do they have the Phillies last week? I had the Phillies as a C. Could I maybe bump them up? They've had a good week overall. Could I maybe see I don't know, though. The Phillies, 18-16. I don't know. You're about to come off of a loss to Atlanta. If Atlanta can hang on, I feel like with the Phillies, do I want to stay at a C? Because you're coming off of a couple losses, but you beat a pretty good Brewers team, a 4-game sweep. A 4-game sweep is hard, man. 4-game sweep is hard. We got a lot of C pluses. I kind of want to bump up the Phillies to a C plus. But, the couple of losses here to the Braves, I feel like I kind of want to stay at a C. You had a good week overall, but you're not finishing the week very good. I don't know. Do I want to go off that, though? I feel like they're doing all right. They're getting good starting pitching. Am I feeling pretty nice with the Phillies? I'm seeing a lot of C pluses in the chat. I'll give them a bump. They had a good week. I'll give them a little bumpity bump. Going up to a C plus. I'll do it. I'll be a little nice with the Phillies. Let's go to a C plus for the Phillies. I think they're playing pretty good, getting good starting pitching. So that is that. The Yankees. Here we go. Here's another juicy one. Last week, I had the Yankees as a B. Hey, the Yankees, they are on the uppity up. So last week for the Yankees, as we all saw with the Yankees, I already talked about the Yankees earlier in the show, but the Yankees, couple of wins, back-to-back wins this past weekend. Even overcoming a 14 strikeout game for Max Scherzer. You took 2 out of 3 against the Astros, and you took 2 out of 3 against the Nationals. So this Yankees team, they're trending up. So let's take a look at where the Yankees are at. As of right now, this Yankees offense, they're kind of in the middle of the pack, 16th. Starting pitching, they're getting good starting pitching, 8th overall. Kluber's starting to turn it on a little bit lately. And then the bullpen, they have the best bullpen overall. This past week, they had the 14th best offense. Starting pitching, they were 19th in starting pitching this past week. But the bullpen, where were they at? 19th in the bullpen. Very interesting. Not very good numbers overall across the board, but playing well this past week. So they're winning some close games. You know what? When you get a couple of walk-off wins in a row, you're winning some close games. Hey, you know what? I'm feeling a little generous with this Yankees team. I'm feeling a little generous when you're getting some walk-off wins. I feel like maybe that can bump you up. I don't know. I feel like, though, with the Yankees, I kind of want to see a little more out of the Yankees. I still think they're not quite like that upper-tier team. I mean, I definitely think they have the talent to do so. I'm going to go with a B for the Yankees. I want to bump them up to a B+, but I'm going to be a little conservative. I'm going to hold a little bit with the Yankees. A couple of walk-off wins, but, it's not a great Nationals team. I think we got to, hey, Nationals I have as a D right now. So a couple of close games against the Nationals, and where I think you should probably be winning those games a little more handedly. So I'll stick with a B for the Yankees, but hey, they are trending up. I think they have all the potential to get up to a B+ for me next week. Here we go. Houston. A very interesting week for Houston. Again, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees. So let's take a look here. Astros winning today against Toronto. But we just saw that earlier when we were talking about the Blue Jays. So this past week, so again, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees, and they took 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays. So pretty much they broke even for the week. So last week I had the Astros as a B. I feel like I got to stay. I think I got to stay. I think just the Astros, last week I had them as a B. They split the week. I think you got to stay as a B for the Astros. Simple as that. So series loss against the Yankees, but then a series win to end your week. So I think simple as that. Astros, I'm going to stay at a B right now. And hey, Jose Altuve in the one win against the Yankees. Altuve had a clutch home run there. So hey, I'll keep him there. Keep him there. But overall, the Astros offense this year, they're fourth in the offense this year. So that offense is still very good. Astros are 21st in starting pitching. When it comes to the bullpen, the Astros are 22nd. So they need some more pitching. That is for sure. This past week, though, the offense continued to do well. The starting pitching, Where are you at? Starting pitching. Wow, they were dead last in starting pitching this past week, but they were 20th in the bullpen. The offense is carrying this team, and they're getting enough pitching to get it done. I'll stay at a B for the Astros. Next up, we got the Padres. Here we go, another juicy one. So the Padres this past week. Last week, I had the Padres as a B. This past week, we had Fernando Tatis Jr. hit a bomb today. Even Jake Cronenworth went deep today against a good Giants team. 11-1 win today. Let's take a look at what the Padres did this past week. You won 2 out of 3 against the Pirates. You probably should be sweeping that series. And then you lost 2 out of 3 against the Giants. Such a weird team this Padres team is, man. A weird team. Like, when are they going to just get it going? When are you going to break out like 10 wins in a row? When are you going to get hot? I don't know. This Padres team. So let's look at the numbers. As of right now, the Padres offense, only right now they are, where are they at? 24th in the offense this year. That's so weird. They're 10th in starting pitching. And then the bullpen, they're 4th overall. This past week, you had the 29th overall offense this past week. Crazy. 27th in starting pitching this past week. 10th in the bullpen this past week. I feel like with the Padres, I had them as a B. I think you just got to stay. I got to stay at a B. I just got to stay. I mean, they're kind of just, they're going back and forth. So they're not really pushing the needle either way. I'll stay at a B for the Padres. Next up, the Brewers. Here we go. Taking a look at the Brewers this past week. We still got 168 strong in the chat right now. Awesome that you guys are coming out tonight for the power rankings, our 4th power rankings of the year. Again, if anyone is new right now, hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 7K by the All-Star break. Hit that like button for me if you can, everyone. Let's try and get to 100 likes by the end of the night. Hit that bell notification so you get notified of all my live streams and any videos that I post. But the Brewers had a dumpster fire of a week. They got swept by the Phillies in a 4-game series. Then you lost 1 against the Marlins, but you salvaged your week at least with a couple of wins to end your week. So that's going to be good. You got a key series against the Cardinals this upcoming week. That's going to be a very important series. That could, in the end, by the end of the season, that could determine, who knows? Maybe if these teams end up finishing a game apart, this could be a very important series. Taking a look at the Brewers. Milwaukee is 28th in offense. Christian Yelich, they need that bat. They need that bat. They need his bat healthy in the lineup. The Brewers starting pitching continues to be very good. 3rd overall on the year. Bullpen for the Brewers. Middle of the road bullpen, 15th. Let's take a look at what they did this past week. Overall, Milwaukee, 25th in the offense, 13th in starting pitching, and 6th in the bullpen. So you'd like to see the bullpen starting to pick it up a little bit. Brewers last year. Oh, yeah, they're definitely dropping. Last week, sorry. They're B+ last week. Where do I want to put the Brewers? They're dropping here. Are they going to drop to a B? They had a bad week. You know, I feel like with the Brewers, they were able to win they got a couple of wins to end their week. I'll drop them 1 spot. They are very close to being a C+ team. Very close. So I'm going to go Brewers as a B. They're definitely not a B+. I'm going to drop them down to a B. They ended their week with a couple of wins. I could see a C+. They're like right here. They are on the edge. They are teetering over that B line. So I'll stick with a B. That they were able to win a couple of wins, get a couple of wins there to end their week. Bullpen's been a little better. They need that offense to pick it up. Starting pitching continues to do what they do. I'll stay with a B for the Brewers right now. Moving on, we have the Mets. The Mets. Here we go. The Mets are finally starting to pick it up. 5 in a row now. It looks like they're starting to hit their stride. This Mets team right now, they're looking pretty good. Last week, I had the Mets as a C. They are definitely going to be on the rise here this week. So let's look at what the Mets did this past week. So again, did they lose this week? I mean, they've won 5 in a row. I mean, it was a bittersweet day. We talked about this earlier. If you weren't here, Jacob Degrom Had to leave his start early, had some tightness in his right side. So not sure what's going on with Mr. Jacob Degrom, but they need him back. They need him healthy. But it's good to see overall this Mets team. They're starting to hit their stride despite Rat and Raccoon Gate this past Friday night. So swept the Diamondbacks. Hey, they took 2 out of 3 against a good Cardinals team. Or no, sorry, they split the series. I apologize. They split against a good Cardinals team. Tough loss there Monday, 5-6 or 6-5 loss. Let's take a look at where they're ranking. The Mets offense, they're starting to pick it up, but they're 19th overall on the year. 4th best starting pitching. Jacob deGrom's a big reason. 2nd best bullpen this year. Taking a look, offense this past week. The Mets, 17th in the offense. You'd like to see that kind of be a little higher. Starting pitching this past week, the Mets, where are you at? We're at 18th in the starting pitching, and the bullpen, their bullpen really stepped up this week. I think with the Mets, I had them as a C. I'm going to bump them up to a B. I think that's fair. I'm going to bump them up a couple of spots. I'm going to go to a B for the Mets. They're climbing a little higher here. So this Mets team, a good week, they're bumping up to a B. So moving on, we have a surprising team, the Cleveland Indians. This team has been no-hit twice this year, but they find themselves in the top 10 in the overall standings in Major League Baseball. Who would have thought the Cleveland Indians would be at this point? So looking at the Cleveland Indians, 18-14 on the year. Hey, good for them. They've won 7 out of their last 10. This Indians team, I mean, they got postponed today. We talked about that earlier with the Reds. But let's look at their week overall. Here we go. Taking a look. I mean, a big sweep there of the Royals. And then they basically split with the Reds. So they're making up that game on August 9th. Wow, that's a long time. But let's take a look at what the Indians are doing overall this year. The Indians, 27th in offense. It's not a good offense for that Indians team. 17th in starting pitching. That's pretty surprising. But let's take a look. What's going on with the starting pitching exactly? Hey, they're getting good starts, kind of similar to the Phillies. They got 3 guys that are really stepping up. Bieber has been awesome. Shane Bieber has been incredible. Zach Plesac has been really solid. Aaron Savali, he's been solid as well. You'd like to see those guys get some more strikeouts, but you're looking to see if Tristan McKenzie can kind of start picking it up a little bit. Logan Allen, hey, if he can start picking it up a little bit, you know. But overall, they're getting those 3. They're getting good innings from those 3 guys right there. Taking a look at the bullpen, the Indians' bullpen is, where are they at? 12th bullpen this year. 12th in the bullpen. Now, this past week, the Indians are 18th in offense. They are 5th in starting pitching. Good starting pitching. And 16th in the bullpen. Last week, I had the Indians as a C. I had the Indians as a C. And then this past week, hey, they won a lot. You know what? I'm gonna bump up the Indians. They were a C last week. I'll bump them up to a C+. Let's do it. Indians trending upward. Next up, here we go. We're getting into the top 5 now. Oakland, 5-5 in their last 10. That winning streak that they had, it was definitely a huge difference for them this year. They've been kind of playing 500 ball since. But let's take a look at where they're at in the numbers. Let's also take a look at what they did this past week. 21-15 on the year so far. Here we go. Come on. All right, while that's loading, let's take a look at where they're ranking numbers-wise. 7th in the offense, 11th in starting pitching, and 9th in the bullpen. That's a pretty solid team all the way across the board. This past week, 7th in the offense. They're 1st in starting pitching this past week. So starting pitching really stepped up for them this past week, and the bullpen really stepped up. They're just not getting all the wins. It looks like they're probably losing some close games. Let's take a look. Wow, MLB.com, you're going slow for me right now. So you won 2 of 3 against the Rays. You lost 2 of 3 against you split against the Blue Jays. So you won 4 this week and you lost 3. Last week I had the A's as a B. Man, you're getting some good numbers though. You're getting some good numbers. You had you won a close game against the Blue Jays. A close loss against the Rays. Man, kind of a tough one here. The A's, I had them as a B last week. I don't think I'm going to bump them up. I think I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay with a B for Oakland. I'll stay with a B. They got some really good numbers, but they're not. I want them to win some more games before I can put them into that B+ tier. I'll stick with a B for the A's. Moving on. Here we go. San Francisco. Big loss today for San Francisco. Let's take a look at what they've done this past week. Taking a look here. So Cueto, he did not have a good day today. 5 runs over 3 innings. But let's take a look overall at the past week. So you lost 2 out of 3 against the Rockies. So that's not good. But then you won 2 out of 3 against the Padres. Very weird. So you do bad against a bad team, but then you do good against a pretty good team. So San Francisco, offense. They're 11th in the offense this year. Starting pitching, some of the best starting pitching out there. Top 5 starting pitching. And then the bullpen, they're getting... Actually, I think that the bullpen does not rank well this year. 29th in the bullpen. But best offense this past week for San Francisco. For the starting pitching. The starting pitching struggled a little bit this past week, and that doesn't even include today. So, bullpen, 21st in the bullpen. I had the Giants last week as a B+. Man, oh man. So you took 2 out of 3 against the Padres, but then you lost 2 out of 3 against the Rockies. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I got to stay. They're kind of just back and forth. They had a good offense this past week. I'll stay. I'll keep the Giants as a B+. So, hey, they basically split this past week. So, yeah, Giants B+ last week. I'll stay with the B+ for the Giants. Here we go. We're down to 3. We are down to our final 3 teams, the top 3 teams right now. Here we go. Chicago. This team is looking good. They've won 3 in a row. 7-3 in their last 10. Last week, I had the White Sox as the only other A team. They're definitely going to stay at an A. But are they going to be an A+? Let's take a look. The White Sox this past week. So they got the sweep today. Lucas Giolito kind of struggled a little bit, but he got it back on track. So taking advantage of a struggling Kansas City team. So you split against the Reds, and then you swept the Royals. Okay. So White Sox, 3rd best offense, 2nd best starting pitching, 8th best bullpen on the year. Those are great numbers across the board. Now, this past week. The offense this past week for the White Sox. Where are they at? Okay, they're 15th in the offense. Starting pitching was really good this past week. 3rd in starting pitching. 7th in the bullpen. Man, I feel like this White Sox team. Ugh. So taking a look one more time. You split against the Reds. You swept a struggling Royals team. And then you got the Royals again for 4 more games next week. Series against the Twins. That's going to be a big series for the Twins. That's going to be a big series. That could really, if the White Sox sweep this series, that's really going to further the gap. Ooh, White Sox. An A last week. I want to see a little more. I want to see a little more out of the White Sox before I can make them an A+ team. They got some good numbers, but I want to see some more wins. I want to see a dominant week. If they can put together a dominant week this coming week, they'll be an A+ next week. And I'm waiting for it. White Sox are definitely an A team. Definitely an A team. We are down to 2. We have the 2 teams from the 2004 and the 2013 World Series, the Cardinals and the Red Sox. Moving on to the Cardinals, 21-4 team. This team is awesome lately. They've won 3 in a row, 8 out of their last 10. Here we go. Cardinals. Let's see. Offense for the Cardinals. Where are they at? 14th in the offense, but they are starting pitching. 15th in starting pitching. And they're 10th in the bullpen. Very interesting. They have the second best record, but they don't rank all that high when it comes to the numbers across the board. But 6th best offense this past week. Starting pitching. Very interesting. 24th in the starting pitching this past week. And bullpen, 8th in the bullpen. Last week, I had the Cardinals as a B+. So let's take a look at what the Cardinals did this past week. We're up to 171 people. If you are just coming in, we are doing our power rankings. If you are new, hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 7K. Everyone, if you can, hit that like button for me. Last time I checked, we're at 84 likes. If we can get to 100 likes by the end of the night, that would be fantastic. Adam Wainwright had himself a good day today. He went into the 9th inning, couldn't quite get that complete game. But the Cardinals, they split against the Mets, and then they swept the Rockies. Okay, so you swept a bad Rockies team, and you split against the Mets. Got an important series against the Brewers. Good series against the Padres next weekend. That should be a fun series. All right, Cardinals last week, a B+. The numbers aren't that great across the board, but you did have a good offense this past week. That starting pitching, 24th. That's so weird. And then the bullpen, one more time, was 8th. I'm having a tough one here. I mean, you got to sweep, but it's against a bad Rockies team. They are winning. Do I want to make them an A? Yeah, I'll go with an A. I'll go with an A for the Cardinals. Hey, you're getting the wins. You're getting the job done. I'll go with an A. I'll give them a little bump. I'm good. I feel good. I feel good about that. A for the Cardinals. All righty. Last but not least, my Boston Red Sox. Oh, this feels so good that my Red Sox are last on this list. Oh man, that feels good. Can we get a round of applause? Here comes my giraffe neck Robbie coming out right now. Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I didn't even think I was going to have my Red Sox as the last team on this list. Who would have thought my Red Sox at this point would have the best record in all of Major League Baseball? I am sorry for the bias right now. I am so sorry. But come on. Who gave the Red Sox a chance this year? I definitely said this past offseason, this Red Sox team could be pretty good. But here we go. This feels good, man. This feels good. But here we go. 22-13. They've won 4 in a row. They have handled the Orioles pretty well over the last 4. Or actually over the last 3. They play the Orioles tomorrow. Good win today. I was watching that today. Matt Barnes locked it down in the end. I don't even know how many pitches he threw. I think he threw under 10 pitches. But looking at the Red Sox this past week, they're just getting good production all across the board. I'm seeing a giraffe neck Robbie comment in the chat. All right, here we go. So you took 2 out of 3 against the Tigers, and then you took 3 against the Orioles with one more game tomorrow night. All righty. So, I mean, hey, you only lost once this past week. Where did I have the Red Sox last week? I had them as a B+. Had them as a B+. Are the Red Sox an A+ team? I don't know. They have the best offense in baseball right now. Starting pitching, they're 7th. 3rd in the bullpen. This past week, 2nd best offense. 7th in the starting pitching. The bullpen has not been the best this past week. They've had a couple of rough spots in the bullpen. 14th in the bullpen. You know, I'm not ready to make my Red Sox an A+. I'm not ready. I'm gonna stick with an A. I'm gonna stick with an A for the Red Sox. I'm gonna stick with an A. I am proud to give my Red Sox an A, but I don't think they're an A+ team just yet. I want to see the Red Sox start getting some wins. I mean, if you really look at it, I'll give them the credit where it's due. They won 5 out of the 6 this past week, but it's the Tigers and the Orioles. It's the Tigers and the Orioles. I want to start seeing them playing some good teams. I want to see what they can do against the A's this week. I mean, that Angels lineup is going to be good. You got a Blue Jays series in a couple of weeks. Got the Phillies, the Braves coming up. They're taking advantage of a not so hard schedule at the moment. And next month, I mean, you're going to have the Astros, the Yankees. I mean, so competition-wise, I mean, the Red Sox are not playing the strongest teams right now, but I will bump them up a smidge from a B+ to an A. I'll give them that credit. So I'm not ready for an A+ team. I don't think there is quite that A+ team right now. The Dodgers were that A+ team in the beginning. But right now, this is where I'm at. So last week, we had this, and now we have this. So there you go. Those are my power rankings for the week. We had a lot of changes this week. We had some teams stay. So we had some teams drop. We had some teams rise. We had some teams stay. This power rankings was fun. This was a good one for this past week. I enjoyed this. Everyone, what a fantastic stream tonight. We broke 200 people tonight. We have not broken 200 people on this channel for our streams. It feels like in quite a while. So everyone, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. Hey, really means a lot. I love that you guys tune in to what I have to say. And I appreciate that a lot. So, everyone, before I get out of here, again, one more time, if you are new, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for me, hit the bell notification, go follow me on Twitter. But everyone, that is all I have for tonight. I hope you have a great upcoming week. I'm definitely going to try and go live a few times this week. I will definitely be back for next week's Power Rankings every Sunday night. Usually it's going to be 8:30 or 9 o'clock. You'll see me going live at some point during that time. So, Timothy Kelly, what's going on, my friend? There's your shout out. So, but if you can, no spamming in the chat, please. Everyone, again, I really appreciate you coming out tonight. As always, have yourself a great night, and I'll talk to you next time.